Hey guys, welcome back to Flat Creek Digital. In today's video, we are going to go over how to make this Doodle font. It's super cute and super easy to make in Inkscape. I'm going to try to have the backgrounds that I used linked in the links to them in the description, if I can find them. I think a lot of these I got at least a year ago, so I may not be able to. But if I do, I'll have it in the description. And if you don't have Inkscape, I will have the link to the download in the description as well. It is very awesome. It is free, and I use it for all of my designs. And I love Inkscape. So let's get to it. If I have time, I'll show you how to do the mushrooms. It just depends on how long we take to do the font, but we'll see. I may do that in another video or something, like a part 2. But anyways, let's get to it. So let's back up. Let's get this out of the way. I'm going to leave it here for reference so I remember how we did everything. But let's go down, and the first thing we're going to do is I'll show you how I have my document properties, which is up here, a little wrench. I set mine to pixels at 3600. That's typically the size I like to make my designs. So I put it at that number there for my width and my height. Down here, I unclick this, always on top, because that'll put a little box around your design, and I just don't like that. But you can have it on whatever. Now, if you're printing, of course, you would want it to whatever paper size you were printing at. So let's exit out of that. And the first thing we're going to do is let's go over here to your Credit and Edit Text Objects, this little A. Click on it. I'm just going to click right here, and I did all capital letters. We did Mama. All right, now go back up here to your selector tool, or I call it that anyway. It's this little arrow. We'll click on it, and it's going to pop up all these little arrows so you can resize your image. So you're going to hold down Shift and Control and click this little arrow to pull it out and make it larger. Okay. I try to keep it within my design size. You don't have to, it's up to you. So now that we have that, we are going to choose our font. I'm going to show you this. This is the little box that's going to pop up. I try to get it out of the way for my videos so you can see. But this is probably what's going to pop up on yours. If not, it's to the side here, or you can click up here to your font size and font family tool here. So we're going to go right here, and I think the font that I used was Bubblegum Sans, yes. So what you're going to do is click on whatever font you would like to use. This is the font that I used. I will have it in the description below. And once you find your font, make sure you have your letters or your text highlighted and in the box. You're going to go over here to Apply. Okay, and that's going to apply the font that you want. Now, let's get this out of the way. Let's go over here. Zoom in some so you can see. Now that we have the font on our text, what we're going to do is duplicate this 3 times. Okay. I'm going to click up here into No Man's Land. I'm going to highlight just these 2. Okay. And we're going to go up here to Path, Object Path, go back to Path. I'm going to do Break Apart. Okay. While both of these are still selected, you're going to right click, go to Ungroup. Okay, and that's going to make each letter separate now. Alright, you're going to need that separate to get everything the way you want it. So let's go up here, and we're going to start pulling in our backgrounds for our letters. I'm just going to go over here to my file, and I'm going to find my backgrounds. And I'm just going to click here and drag down so I can select all of them and move them in. It might take a minute because that's a lot of them. Once it does that, we'll close out that box. Okay. Now, let's back up some. All right, this one's going to be for our mushrooms. This is all going to be for our letters. This one will also be a mushroom. Let's put that over here. Okay, now that we have this all separate, we can click on this, and our M is going to be in the flower design here. So we're going to use our layering options up here to put our letter M on top. Okay, now we can move this to make, if you want the flowers to be bigger within your M or smaller, you can do that there by, again, holding down Shift and Control and dragging it out like that. Okay, try not to drag or change the size of your M, because then all this will kind of, you would have to resize everything, and you don't want to have to do that. So once we got it where we want it, we're going to click on there in No Man's Land again. We're going to drag down like this and select both. We're going to right click. We're going to do Set Clip. Okay, now we got that one. Let's keep it over here because we can't see on that. Take our A, I think we did the polka dots, make it a little smaller. Highlight both. Right click, Set Clip. Okay, now we have our A. Alright, the M was the chevron. Drag it, send it to the back. Highlight both. Right click, Set Clip. Alright, and there's our M. Do the same thing for the A. Get our glitter. Set Clip. Okay, now we have those. Alright, now this here, that later is going to be our little broke up lines here. I don't know if you can see it. Let's zoom in. See these broke up lines? That's what this is going to be, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Right now we're just going to try and do this outline, this solid outline, okay? Now that's going to be this one. And this one was kept together for a reason. That way we keep everything straight and it looks the way it did when we did our text, okay? So we just want the outline of this. We don't want this color. So what we're going to do is go down here, and we're going to hold down Shift and hit our black color, because that's going to add a stroke to our text, okay? Now we're going to go over here and hit None, and that is going to get rid of our fill color. Now we're going to want to get our backgrounds here, and see how they're in front. We're going to want to move those back. First, before we move it back, I want to make it just a little bit bigger. I just like the background to be kind of sticking out from behind the outline. Just gives it that more of a doodle effect. So let's make this a little bit bigger. Put it over. Send it back. Same for this one. Make it a little larger. Oh, it's already in the back. Now, see, if you do something like that, if you move something that you didn't want to move, it's fine. Go up here, just undo last action, and then I'll put it back where it was, okay? If you have a hard time, see how, since it's in the background, you kind of have a hard time clicking it. You can send it back, you can click on it, get it moved around to where you want it. You can use the arrow keys on your keyboard if you had to. Get it in the position you want, and then you can click back on your full stroke things again and put it back on top. That's just the easy way sometimes, because if this gets behind the font, sometimes it don't want to do that. But let's make it bigger first. There we go. Like it's sticking out just a little bit. And you can do it however which way you want to, but I just think it looks more doodle-ish if you do it that way. Alright, now that we have all that, we have it the way we want, we can highlight all of it, go to Group, and it's going to keep everything in position now. We got that done. So now we're going to get these, and again, we're going to have these be the little broke up lines. So we want these to be just stroke. So what we're going to do is we're going to go hold down Shift again and click on our black to add our stroke. And then we're going to go here again to none with this little X down here in the corner, if you see where I'm at. And we're going to click on that to get rid of the fill. Okay. So now we just have our stroke. So let's get our little, okay, we can get to where I'm trying to get to multiple ways. If you don't have your little box over here, you can click on this right here. And it'll make it pop up. And basically this is your fill in stroke tab, okay? Now if it doesn't look like this, it's fine. It's just because it's on a different tab. What we're gonna use is the stroke style tab, okay? And we're going to change the pattern of our dash, okay? Once we do that, I choose this down here, but I'll give you the number in a minute. But once you have to choose it for this pattern to pop up. And the pattern is, if you just put 24, that's that pattern, okay? And you don't have to mess with anything else. Now, if you wanted this to be thicker, you would change the width up here. You know, your stroke may be too thin. You may have to make it more thick. I think what I typically keep it at, was that right? Like 1.5. Alright, so now that we've done that, get this back out of the way again. We can start placing these little broke up lines and strokes on top. Now you're going to want to kind of just offset it a little bit. Okay, sometimes you might have to make it smaller. It just depends on how you want it to look. It's all about how you want it to look. You just move it around, resize it, get it to where you want. Okay, there's no right or wrong. It's however which way you like it, whichever way you think it looks cute. And just move it around. Like I said, make it larger, smaller. Make sure you know, if it's behind everything, just bring it up top, up here to your layering tools. And just move it around. Get it to where you want. You want it to be up higher. You want it to be, just move it around. I kind of like it to be offset a little bit like that. It just looks really cute and doodle-ish. You can offset it to this side. You can offset it to the opposite side if you wanted to. I try to tend to keep it all on the kind of the one side like that. This looks cute that way. But okay, I think that's good there. We're going to highlight all that. We're going to group all of that together now that we have it looking the way we want. Alright, and now we're going to do the little doodle, little scribbles. Okay, super easy. I'm going to go over here to your Draw Freehand Lines tool. Okay, you're going to click on it. Alright, and your little pencil, you can see your little pencil on there. I have it set, hold on, I don't think that's right. Maybe that is. Okay, I have it set to create regular Bezier path. And smoothing is 29, okay? That's what I have mine set to. And make sure this shape here, it says none. Alright. I don't know if you can see this, but see how it's broke up like that? That's because it's using the stroke pattern that we still have. We're going to have to change that back. With Inkscape, it likes to keep the last options you had chosen. So sometimes you might have to go back in there and change them back to your standard stuff, okay? Let's get that back out of the way. Now, all we did was we just went in here and we put it back on the normal straight line dash, okay? That's all we did. Let's get that out of the way. All right, I don't like that one. So we're just going to keep doing it. We're going to play around. We're going to go zigzag, zigzag. Just do it a couple times until you find which one you like. Okay? Typically, I have to do it a few times to kind of get my wiggling right. All right. I think that one's pretty good. Let's see. Just make it a little smaller. I can change it around, move it around. See, all right. If you click on it once, it gives you these arrows, and that just makes it larger, right? Okay. If you click on it again, it's going to give you your rotating arrows. So then you just have to kind of click on little rotating arrows and rotate it around, okay? Now, let's zoom in, because sometimes these little, when you're working with these tiny things like this, it's hard to grab them, okay? The best thing I can tell you is see how the bunch of little arrows, the little 4 little arrows, I can't tell if you can see it or not. Maybe if I zoom in. Okay, that's smaller. Anyway, you have to have that little box pop up with the arrows on it. As long as you see that, you can move this thing around, okay? So let's put it here, see how that looks. Yeah, I like that. Make it a little smaller maybe. And all you're gonna do is click on it, right click, and duplicate it. And you're just gonna put it wherever you want to put it. Now you can change the direction of it if you don't want them all to look similar. Flip it upside down. You can use these right here, okay? And just put it where you want. Now, if you don't think that's thick enough for you, you want it to look a little thicker, bring back your stroke style. Go right here to your width and make it thicker. You want it to be thicker than this other lines you have, other stroke lines, you can. You want it to be thinner, you can make it thinner. It's all about how you want it to look. So kind of like, let's see. I can't remember what I did the other ones at, but that looks good. So like 1.3, I think is that. That's what that one's at. So let's copy this one. And I like to put it right here to kind of see where the broke up parts are. I like to put it in that space. Okay. And that's it. I mean, that's just how you get the little doodle look. Just add these. Oh, see that? Okay, let's zoom in. See this little thing right here? If you move that by accident, because it's hard to work with these little tiny objects. If you move it, it's fine. What it's going to do is that's like your center point of your item, okay? So now when you rotate it, it's going to rotate a little weird. So just to fix that, grab it, put it back in the center. Now you can rotate it and it'll work right. Right, so just grab it, put it where you want it. Let's rotate it a little bit. Duplicate it. I mean, oh, see, I grabbed it again. It's hard, like I said, with these little tiny items. Rotate it. I like to kind of make it on the outer edge here so you can really see it. Duplicate. Bring it here. Let's move over. You can move over by clicking on this and moving it over, or you can just kind of drag your mouse and it'll move too. Right, click on it, duplicate, put it wherever you want. Oh, and also, you can see right here where it says Control D, Control V. You can use those little shortcuts on your keyboard. So just say hold Control and D, and it'll duplicate. That's another cute little trick. Then Inkscape, so duplicate, rotate it. Let's see how that looks. Oh, that's cute. I think we need one up top though. Maybe, anyways, we'll try. Oh, that got all messed up. See that? Like I said, just go to undo. Alright, let's rotate it. Yeah, I like that. Let's see how that looks. I think that's good. Like I said, I mean, y'all can put them wherever you want to. Do it whatever way you like. Let's see how I have this one up here. It's kind of similar. But it's just super easy. Super cute. And just love the way it looks. And it's that easy. Let's see if we can get this out of the way. We can really zoom in and see this. And that is it. I mean, y'all just created Doodle font. And And just make sure you highlight everything and group it together. And that's it. I hope this helps y'all out, and I hope it's super easy. If not, you can always comment on the video. I will answer any questions. And please just, make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. I think maybe we'll do a part 2 and I can show you how to do the mushrooms. Because it adds to it, makes it really cute. Let's go back up here and I'll show you. And they're basically the same kind of method we did with the mama as the mushrooms. And I'll show y'all that in the next video. But just please make sure you like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.